Seventh is a band from Rome, and we play a sort of mix of genres. We mix elements of metal, shoegaze, post-rock, hardcore, but we don't have the aim of being labeled in a specific way, so we try to make it the more personal possible, and we try to express feelings and emotion mostly through our music. The band name was originally Seventh Genocide, but then we decided to change it and to move to a different name. We removed the word genocide to have to avoid any kind of miscomprehension of the name, and we also make it spelled the way it is because it was aesthetically more coherent with the music that we play. Pink Noise Youth is our fourth album, and it's the second chapter of the Trilogy of Colors, which is something that we did with the idea of exploring different phases of life and associate them with colors. With the first record, the color was blue, and it was associated with childhood. And with this new one, the color is pink, and it is associated with late youth. So we are exploring all struggles, emotions, and all the issues that people into this age are facing living in the current world. Speaking of music, the album, compared to the previous one, to Spring in Blue, goes to a more song structure, while Spring in Blue has more progressive intentions. And we also explored more different types of sounds using a lot of instruments, a lot of not very typical instruments for a metal record. We used the sitar on almost every track, acoustic guitars, orchestrations, keyboards, and classical guitars, a lot of different instruments. And I would say that its songs are shorter, but they are more rich in terms of instrumentation. Well, the album cover started as an idea of portraying the album topics into a photo. And we made it with the help of Alex, the singer of Crovi, with Altea, his girlfriend, that did the model, and with the work of artwork and layout by Trifar. So the girl on the cover is the personification of late youth, and she is surrounded by pink. So this is easily the personification of the album concept. I didn't know about Mauro and his label before getting in contact with him. And this happened when I met a few summers ago, I think, Marco from Klimt 1918, one of my favorite bands. And we were talking about Seventh, the fact that Seventh was coming back. And he suggested me to contact Mauro and his label because it was very, very oriented on the same type of music that we do. We contacted Mauro, and everything was perfect. He was up to collaborate with us, and we started to work on the album, and then we released it with him. Outside of music, I work as a sound engineer for Italian dubbing, and you can find some of my works on the internet easily. I basically most of the times record the Italian voices on foreign films, and sometimes I also did some post-production, but my field is Italian dubbing. I don't remember exactly when I discovered metal, but I started my interest with music when I was a kid, so at a very, very young age. And at a certain point, I think I was like 11 or 12, I realized that my favorite genre was rock music, and it was pretty natural to explore metal as well then. Well, I would say that if you are outside of the circle of bands that has the opportunity of of being the most important bands in the metal scene, everything is kind of difficult. And I would say that the first step is trying to target your music and your audience, find people to cooperate with. It's very, very difficult, very complicated, and there are a lot of bands trying to survive in today's. So it's very difficult, and I understand that unfortunately many bands end up not liking all the other aspects that are related to have a band, and they decide to split up. We are always open to collaborations, and I don't listen to much metal, so for sure, of course, many of the most interesting artists that I consider good for collaboration are not into metal, but of course, if something will happen, you will know. It's a very interesting question. I think that metal right now, it's a little bit like jazz, because the mainstream period where metal was, I mean, the period when metal was getting mainstream, it's finished by a long time. And right now it's surviving as a small genre for music lovers and for that specific community. So sometimes it happens that some records are released and go out of the metal community. For example, Death Heaven's Sunbather from 2013, which is also there. And also the latest Blood Incantation is one of these records, but these records are pretty rare, and most of the metal releases are made inside the community for the community. Speaking of music specifically, I think that there is no particular evolution since 2010. I think it's 15 years that we don't see any new form of metal arriving to us. I don't like AI artworks, so I think that this technology has to improve, but I always prefer to use photography or real artworks by artists. So I think that maybe AI could work as the draft of your artwork, so just to get an idea of how it will be after a professional artist or photographer would work on that. I think it was Green Day's International Super Hits, and I think I was like 11. I don't know, it's very difficult, but I think that maybe the ones about aliens, maybe they might be close to the truth, since we don't know about much about the universe, you know. So outside of our galaxy, somewhere in the universe, there might be another planet like planet Earth with the possibility of hosting life. And yeah, it seems pretty reasonable to think that there might be other planets that can host life in somewhere in the universe. This is a very, very good question. It's pretty difficult actually to think about it, but I think that the movies that fits more the atmosphere of the album are Elephant or Parnet Park by Gus Van Sant. The main difference is that these movies are about people who are very young. So our album is actually more about people in late youth, while people in these movies are like 15, 16, or at least 18. But yeah, beside that, I think the atmosphere is very close to what I had in mind. I have basically always done the job I am doing. It's more than 10 years now. I think that I can say that I worked in some very, very bad studios, and when I was working for them, that was my worst job. There are tons of pop songs that I really love. I think that one of my favorites the one that comes to my mind now, it's 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. We don't have any specific plan for the future right now. We will still continue to promote our album, and of course we will start to write the third chapter of the trilogy. Thank you so much for hosting us on your video interview. It was a real pleasure to answer, and for all of the people who saw this video but haven't listened to our album yet, you find us on Spotify.